Good morning, everybody. It's May 5th, 2012. I just watched the first couple races on Kentucky Derby Day. The track started out rated as sloppy. Now it's rated as fast after the first two races only. So it looks like it's drying out. Now, out of the last 15 Kentucky Derby champs, and we could go back 100 years ago and get similar stats, but only two did not finish in the top two in the final prep. The two that weren't finished fourth, Mind That Bird and Giacomo. Now, only four were not from a grade 1 final prep. Again, Mind That Bird, and this time last year's champion Animal Kingdom from the Spiral, who did finish first in his last prep, but it wasn't a grade 1. Now, 9 of 15 were from the Raisin of Sire line, and 11 of 17 going back a couple years earlier. None of them were from Stormcat, who is the leading North American sire of all time, who's produced hundreds of thousands of foals from his sire line. And many of which have run in the Kentucky Derby and not won. AP was cursed the day of the Derby, had a quarter crack, was scratched. One of his best offspring of all time, I Want Revenge, one of his speediest horses, was also scratched from the Derby during the week leading up to the Derby. So that is called the AP curse. Again, AP one of the leading North American sires of all time. So if we go to the recommended Derby bets, what I did was I said the winning contenders are those who aren't from Stormcat or the AP sire lines, but also have good performance criteria. Okay, the R doesn't mean restricted, but that's what happens when I put an R in parentheses. So that's fine. It means raise a native. Primarily, I'm looking at Union Rags and Bodemeister, and I'll tell you why in a second. But the others also have a chance that are listed in those winning contenders. Now, the star means for Union Rags and El Patino, these are the ones that didn't finish in the top two in their final graded prep. In fact, they finished third and fourth respectively in the Florida Derby, behind I'll Have Another, who actually won it on a moderate pace. So I'll be using pretty much, I think, all of these horses to some extent or another in different bets, but the primary ones are in blue. Now the grid qualifiers, you'll see the criterial historical qualifiers on one side, the performance speed qualifiers on the other side. You'll notice the four of them are the same. I think collectively these are 6 key horses, specifically those 4 that are underlined. I see 2 Derby scenarios unfolding. One, the track is drying out. Okay, so it's probably going to play to the late closers like it usually does at Churchill Downs. We're talking Union Rags, El Perino, Creative Cause, Dolahan went the day well. Bodemeister will hold on for something. I don't know if he could finish in the money under this scenario. And then the late closers, Rousing Sermon, Daddy Knows Best. Now, let's say we get more rain, or for some reason there's a weak pace, some reason the front runners hold up. Bodemeister is definitely your primary contender, followed by these other list of front-running type horses. So that's the way I see it today, folks. And good luck. Hope this gives you some insight into how I'm going to wager on the Kentucky Derby. I can't tell you my exact wagers, but this is how I see it unfolding.